Hey everyone, the Reading Bard here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be continuing the First Quirkless Hero, written by ILOveSpRIngSeasSONZZ. This is Chapter 3 titled How to Ruin Blonde Bitch and Weirdos' Egos, 101 with Midoriya. Let's hop right into it. Here's the summary. It's the day after Midoriya's fight with the bullies. Let's see the aftermath of what happened. On one hand, the day he ran away from 3 bitcheteers, it felt like a weight was lifted off his shoulders seeing them hurt. It doesn't sound very heroic, but screw it. Midoriya knows he's in the right for doing what he did. Also, he's glad he was the one to do it for 2 reasons. 1. They've been so rude to everyone and deserve to get their asses kicked for a long time now. 2. Someone way stronger could have come instead and beaten them to a bloody pulp. Yes, the boy may not like them, but it doesn't mean he wants to see them all bloody. That's mainly because he gets grossed out when seeing other people bloody. But there's also some negatives, which have brought him to today. Hey, wait! A girl that looked to be a few years older than the boy looked at him, panting for breath. Yes? The boy said, confusion evident in his face. You're Midoriya, right? The girl asked. The green-haired boy was quiet for a moment. So quiet, in fact, you could hear a pin drop. On one hand, he could just respond with a no, and then the conversation would be over. On the other hand, he was genuinely curious of what the older girl wants. It also doesn't help that they go to the exact same school as him. The boy fully turned to face the girl this time. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Yes, I am, he said, his voice steady. The girl's eyes lit up before she practically screamed, OMG! I was right! You are the kid that ass-kicked those bullies! Ha! I'm in love! The girl was practically bouncing on her feet now. The boy paled drastically at the declaration. Maybe he didn't hear her right? Oh, who is he kidding? Of course he heard correctly. It was hard not to because of the noise. Talking about noise, that practically attracted a whole damn audience. Wait, seriously? But he's like 3, someone in the crowd said. Oh, shut it. You're just mad it wasn't someone in our year, a feminine voice responded. Those 3 had it coming, especially that obnoxious one. What's the brat's name again? Another voice said, starting a new conversation within the crowd. You mean the green-haired badass? Because his name is Midoriya. Midoriya Izuku. We have to remember that name. He's going to make a sick-ass hero. A very cheerful voice said, much too cheery for 6:30. Oh, no, Spiky, Blood Eyes, that one. What's his name? The same person that was talking about an obnoxious person asked. His name is something to do with cats, I think? The obnoxious one is called Bakugo Katsuki. That bastard, Midoriya said, only realizing he said it out loud after people were looking at him. Oh, that's the name. He's so obnoxious. He wants to be a hero, right? Hero, my ass. He behaves more like a villain than a hero. A new voice commented. Everyone be quiet. Midoriya seems to be getting flustered at all the praise and attention. Another voice spoke, cutting through the noise. To that, Midoriya was extremely thankful for the boy that said that. Hey, you have a speed quirk, don't you? The girl that was screaming before asked. No, the boy said, kicking a rock on the ground, unable to meet the girl's eyes. An analysis quirk? The girl pressed on. I don't have a quirk, the boy said, practically empty. The girl was silent before screaming once more. You're quirkless and you managed to do that? Teach me your fucking ways. Cause they were all like, attack, and you were like, nuh-uh, and beat them like bish bosh bang. You know how freaking cool that was? The girl said, jumping up and down. With that, a murmur of agreement swept through the crowd. Then a round of applause. To that, Midoriya's face flushed red under all the praise that he never once received after being diagnosed quirkless. This is quite nice. I think I could get used to this praise. Eventually. When the boy entered class, heads were turned at him. Not in the usual disdain though. No. More like awe and wonder. Midoriya! Is it true? You heard those bullies? I have an older brother, Yuma. He showed it to me, she said with stars in her eyes. Oh, Yuma. I saved him from them. he responded calmly. Wait, you were that green bean? Whoa, I was sure he was talking about someone in his year that isn't all that important. Did you tell him about your quirk status? The girl suddenly asked, tilting her head. Yep, but he didn't care, nor did his friends, the boy responded back. So cruel! I'm sorry for not standing up for you, by the way. I was too scared of them myself to do anything. I shouldn't have ignored someone in need. I understand if you don't forgive me, the girl said sadly, quickly changing the topic. To that, the boy put a comforting hand on the girl's shoulder and then said, I understand why you didn't, and it's okay. I'm not angry with you, the boy replied back in his most gentle tone. The girl just looked up and smiled gratefully, until a new voice chimed, well, more like shouted, Midoriya! If it isn't the man of the hour! Another boy practically kicking the door when he saw a set of green hair and then proceeded to lunge at him playfully. Hey? The green-haired boy questioned, perplexed to add all the attention in the class. You know, people are talking about you in the hallways. That's the only reason I know what happened yesterday, the boy with midnight-colored hair stated, whilst poking the green-haired boy's cheek. Oh, he really likes physical touch. There was a girl that looked a year or two older than us, and said with her entourage of friends, and I quote, Oh, do you know that, I think his name is Midoriya? Well, anyway, he beat this group of kids in a matter of seconds. Like, it's so crazy, and get this, he doesn't even have a quirk. I mean, everyone thought he had to have like a speed quirk or something, until it came out that he was quirkless. That just made the whole ordeal 10 times greater, like. He would defo make a great hero, the midnight hair boy said, using his quirk so it sounds just like the girl he was referring to. I mean, he's an internet sensation right now, a new voice spotted him. Where did everyone even find this anyway? Midoriya asked, genuinely curious. Well, the original person sent it to every kid in his year, and some to the years above and below. Then those people sent it to kids that they know or to their socials, but set it so no adults could see. Then so on, the one that botched it said. Oh, that makes sense, Midoriya replied back. I just hope no one snitches, Midnight Hair said. Oh, someone most definitely will. Probably one of the boys that got their asses kicked, a girl with bubblegum hair said. Before any more could be discussed, the teacher came in, and then everyone had to scamper off to their seats. Class was uneventful. Some people had given him the thumbs up when the teacher wasn't looking. Some people waved, and the 3 bullies stared daggers behind his back. Honestly, this much attention is draining and is taking up my social battery. How do people even do this? Midoriya, wanna come hang out with us again? Yuma asked, followed by his little sister, June. Yeah, sure, I'd love to. The boy smiled back warmly whilst answering the older boy's question. To that answer, Yuma practically dragged him to his friend group, until June, thankfully, told her brother to knock it off. I'm really sorry about him. He gets like this when he gets excited, the girl said apologetically. Oh, it's fine, really, the boy responded back. The two then walked in silence again, intently listening to what the older boy was saying. That was until they reached the friend group's table. Then there was just noise, and utter chaos. Not the bad kind, though. No, the one that's good to be in. The lively one. Wait, hold up, Izuku! To that, the boy stopped, because there's no way he heard the annoying blonde correctly. Izuku? What the fuck? Midoriya was genuinely wondering if he was in dreamland. When the blonde finally reached him, he was sweaty and out of breath. I shouldn't have done what I'd done, and for that, I'm sorry. No, you're only sorry because I was the one to put you in your place, not for the hurt you caused me or others. The younger boy responded, a surge of anger coming through. The boy looked stunned for a second. Maybe it was because the younger boy had never outright showed his hatred towards him, or he's stunned because the younger boy even acknowledged him. Either way, the older boy gained his composure after a few seconds. The blonde then started slowly shaking his head, before responding back. No, I never even hated you. The only reason I bullied you was because I was insecure. Because you're way more heroic than I'll ever be. I didn't want to feel insecure, so I bullied you so I could feel better about myself. And even though you don't have a quirk, I always thought you were ahead of me, so I put you down. I'm sorry." The blonde spoke, earnestly and probably the most calm in a long while. To Midoriya, it sounded like a real apology, but that doesn't mean it was. "I still hate you, and I don't hate very often. I don't know if I will ever be able to forgive you for all the shit you put me and other people through. I'm not the same boy you knew before. I've changed, and this me has a backbone. If you even want me to acknowledge you, then you can start by acting like a decent person and not a bully that the people know you to be. Then once you've done that, come back to me and maybe I'll forgive you. Also, I've got a surplus of friends now, and I will let them know about this little conversation, so they can watch when I can't. So I will be watching you, Bakugo Katsuki. Now, if you don't mind, I have somewhere to be, and so do you." Midoriya replied indifferently. "I still hate you, and I don't hate very often. I don't know if I will ever be able to forgive you for all the shit you put me and other people through. I'm not the same boy you knew before. I've changed, and this me has a backbone. If you even want me to acknowledge you, then you can start by acting like a decent person and not a bully that the people know you to be. Then once you've done that, come back to me and maybe I'll forgive you. Also, I've got a surplus of friends now, and I will let them know about this little conversation, so they can watch when I can't. So I will be watching you, Bakugo Katsuki. Now, if you don't mind, I have somewhere to be, and so do you." Midoriya replied indifferently. "Okay, I'll try my best," the blonde replied back. With that conversation over, they both departed ways. "You did what?" Himi-chan screamed. It was just after karate, and right after, Toga practically dragged Izuku to their special spot. It was just an abandoned playground. The reason why Toga was shouting is because Izuku just finished telling her every last drop of what happened, not only today, but also yesterday. "I mean, Izuku, that's totally badass and all, but aren't you afraid of parents and, teachers knowing?" The girl questioned, tinged with concern. "I mean, yeah, I am to an extent, but I'm more proud that I defended myself and inspired others to do the same." Midoriya responded back, fiddling with the metal on the swings. Toga sighed exasperately, and then said, "What am I gonna do with you?" "Back me up?" the boy asked. I am glad you defended yourself, though. Seriously, I am," the girl said, diverting the conversation. "Oh, you care," the boy replied, teasing. "Oh, come off it," the girl said, trying to sound annoyed, but failing miserably. After that, they talked about other things that happened that same day, putting the situation Izuku was in out of their minds. "Hey Izuku, is there anything you want to share with me?" Mama asked tenderly. "I don't think there's anything," Izuku replied back, confusion evident. Inko's smile strained. Nothing. Nothing? Because the little birdie told him about an altercation with a certain group of people yesterday? The lady was trying to not sound mad. Whose face paled drastically. "Oh, that," Izuku replied weakly. "Yes, that. What happened?" "Well, Bakugo and Co were bullying an older kid, and I stopped them from hurting him, and I quickly defeated them by myself." "Not going to talk to me about the pictures?" the woman asked. Well, yeah, there were pictures," the boy responded, looking anywhere but his mum. "I bet you're wondering how I saw it. One kid accidentally shared it without excluding all the adults, and I saw the post before they removed it once they realized adults could see it too." The woman replied calmly. "Look, Izuku, I'm glad you defended yourself, honest, but you can't circulate images of people, even if you didn't explicitly say that it can be circulated. I'm guessing you asked the older kid if they can take the picture and send it to their friends, and then it got out of hand?" she questioned, although it sounded more like she was stating it. The boy could only nod his head, yes. The woman sighed before rubbing her temples. I don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, but I just hope I don't get a call. Next time, don't do that, okay? The woman said softly at the very end. Okay, Mama, the boy replied solemnly. I just hope you've learned your lesson. Now help me set up the table, the woman said, putting an end to the original conversation. Okay, I'm doing it right now. And that is it for Chapter 3. I do hope you all enjoyed. I am very proud of Izuku for not running away when being asked about his quirk, and seeing everyone around him celebrate and cheer him on for being quirkless. And also, I loved reading Bakugo trying to apologize. I'm excited to see how this develops in the future of the story. Anyway, this is where I'll be ending today's video. I'll have the link to the fic down below. Feel free to go check out the author and give all the love to them. It's greatly deserved. And until next time, this has been the Reading Bard, and I will see you all next time. Bye!